welcome back to my channel, baby. I hope all is well. I am just relaxing, about to take me a little bubble bath. I said, well, before I do that, let me get on this tube and talk about this book. But first, of course, I don't have the notes again yet, but I have Sunflower Dream Petals by Elizabeth Arden. And it's such a light, like flower, white flower, summertime, springtime scent, nighttime. It's beautiful. So again, that's Sunflower Dream Petals. So the book that I finished was the library book, The Darkest Child. This book is the reason why I read. This right here is what I call literature. Literature, a good book. It was such a good book. And, okay, it didn't have like a particular storyline or like plot or like where something was happening and someone was trying to solve a problem or something like that. It's just a story, a coming of age story about a girl. So of course, I have all of my notes. Let me make sure I don't miss anything. So, I love the conclusion in it. I like the way that everybody's storyline wrapped up in it. There were a couple of different characters. It's about this girl named Tangela, and she's coming of age in the South in like the 1950s. So we follow her from about the age of 14 till she graduates high school. And she lives with her 10 siblings and their very abusive mother. Cheeto, I can't never make a video without him trying to come in. Hi, Cheeto. He's the worst. Why are you distracting me? Why are you disturbing me? Opening up my door. Hi, sweetie. Hi, my sweetie. You saying hi again? I can't never be in here without you. You gonna record? All right, he's out. He's gonna go get up on the bed and knock over my ring light and just be distracting. So, they're very abusive mother. My favorites of the characters, I like Tangela, Mushy, Terabelle, and Hambone. I liked how Hambone was like the revolutionary. And I like how he took every opportunity to talk to the groups of black people. Like, he even walked up in a church once and was talking to them about, he's like a revolutionary. So he was talking to them. He walked up in a church once. He talked to them at the fair. The people were probably so irritated with him. Like, we trying to have fun at the fair, sir. Why are you talking about serious stuff? But he was really trying to get them to wake up and to see how unfairly the black people, the colored people in their town were being treated. And he just didn't want them to be complacent about where they were in society. So he was really getting to the business of waking black people up. And another thing that I thought about when I was kind of like going through his storyline was, I find it weird how there was like really like a time in history where there had to be a specific black person that, or even a specific person, a specific woman or whoever the case may be, but there had to be a specific black person to stand up and tell people that this ain't right, that the way that they're treating us down here in the South, these laws, these everything isn't right. Somebody had to tell them you are a man, and we need to fight for our rights to be seen as human beings. I know that as a human, Black people always knew that within themselves and had that like in the back of their mind, but they weren't acting like it at the time. And for somebody to have to rile them up to see that it's not the stuff wasn't right, I find that very, very interesting. Um, let's see what else. Um, I had faith in Mushy. I don't really know why, but I think it was because she was really trying to not be a piece of crap like her mother. Like she was really trying to not be to not be the worst as a result of Roselle. But I think it was Tarabelle who said that Mushy was no better than her mother. And I guess that's kind of right because Roselle, their mother, had, by Mushy being the oldest, Roselle had the longest time to do the most damage to her. So, she really had she was really able to do a real number on Mushy, but even though Mushy was able to leave, I do think that her leaving might have was a little bit too late for her to be of any good in raising her younger siblings. Like, I don't think that she would have been a good big sister, good mother figure to Tangi or Tarabelle, as they were growing up, because she had just been through too much already with their mother. Even though she was still relatively young, she was too far gone. And speaking of siblings, I love Tarabelle. Like, I think out of all of them, Tarabelle was probably my favorite character. Because I just loved how how she challenged her mother. Like, every time her mother would get abusive or say something that was rude or ignorant, Tarabelle wasn't with none of her shit. None of it. Tarabelle was fighting. She was talking back. And I mean, I don't want to, give too much of the ending away. I always say this every video, but no, I'm gonna say it because I'm gonna just put spoilers. This is a spoiler. The way that her ending, oh no, I felt so bad when Tarabelle died. Like, I was like, no, like, she's not really dead. Like, she's hiding somewhere, or she's gonna come out and be seen by her sisters, something like she's gonna let her sisters know that she's alive. And they really had her funeral and she really died. I won't say how or anything, but that stuck with me for a minute. Like, I was thinking about that at the end of the book for a while. Another one of the characters that I really liked was Martha Jean. She made me really happy because she was deaf, and I always like to see deaf representation in sign language. She had a form, like a certain kind of like a type of sign language that she had picked up and was using with her siblings, especially Tangi. But I loved Velman's love for Martha Jean and how he just accepted and loved and comforted her, and was just Velman too was a really good character, really good stand-up guy. Like I said, even though the book wasn't about any like one particular thing, it was just about a girl growing up, what made it so good with even all of these characters, even though it wasn't a whole lot of characters, but just learning about these different people's lives in this southern town, what made it so good was how beautifully it was written. I keep saying that because it's true. Even though the story itself was kind of sad, it was really entertaining to look forward to reading and to read and to get through. Tangela, the last character that I'm going to talk about, she was a really sweet girl. I liked her. I could see why she was a little sweet on Velman, even though she was wrong, because that was her sister's man. But I understand, and I'm glad that she didn't take it any further than what she did. She just kept her admiration and her love for him to herself. That was admirable. The book is told from her perspective as the darkest child of Roselle's, their mothers. And the teenage years for anybody really is already angsty enough and problematic enough. But this girl's was the worst. Like, their mother, it's not funny, but I'm so glad that it's just a fictional story. Um, because at the same time, you also know that a lot of these stories are kind of. Did I do it my drink? Did I make my hold on. Excuse me. Okay. A lot of these stories are based off of stories that people have heard, or based off of friends of families and family members and people's stories that we've, been listening to as we grow up. So a lot of this is real, is true. And that's crazy. Again, no mental health representation. It was definitely representation of what mental illness looks like, because their mother was giving the worst kind of mental illness. I ain't gonna, I don't want to shame anybody or make a joke of it, because it's serious as far as mental illness is concerned and bipolar disorder, but she was the worst. One moment she would be, no, I'm not, I was supposed to be talking about Tangela. Hold on. Wait a minute. I like Tangela. And before I get to their mother, I gotta take it in order, because I'm gonna go off on her. Tangie was sweet. She was a good girl. I really, really was rooting for her in her determination to continue going to school and to graduate no matter what. That was so just chef's kiss. I was glad to see her, especially during that time period. So like I said, it was set in the 50s. So at that time in the South, they were doing a lot of integration, and it's like the late 50s. So they were integrating, integrating and desegregating a lot of their schools. So she had to go through a lot to graduate and to get through high school, not just with her mother, but also just with the challenges of going. But her mother was enough. Now I can get to her mother. The only thing that I really have to say about her crazy ass is she needed it beat. I was just wanting why didn't one of the neighborhood ladies who rightfully so had it out for her, why didn't somebody just like mink just real quick, just mink real quick, just beat it up just real quick? Why not? That would have been so satisfying. Terrible tried, but Terrible ended up getting the brakes beat off of her by her mother when she tried to stand up to her. That was real irritating. Pearl popped her once, but I wanted her to really, really feel some of them blows, especially for everything she put her children through. Rosa was the worst mother ever. Like, I have never wanted to fight a book character more than I wanted to fight that lady. She was terrible. I said, I wrote my review on Goodreads too, so you can read it over there. What do I say? I'll leave the link in the description below. I said this book was so good. I already said this, but I'll say it again because it deserves emphasizing how good the story is. That's what it is. It's just a good, great, big, thick story. This, and I know I've been saying, all year, 5 out of 5. Oh, this book was good. Yeah, 5. Oh, 5. I'm going to start being a little more stingy and a little more critical of my 5 stars. I'm going to start dinging off some half stars and whatnot, because this was a 5-star. 5 out of 5. This is what I live for. It's these little gems like this, something that I've just been kind of seeing on the internet, and then I happen to see it at the library, grab it up. Beautiful. It is so exciting. I'm so excited. So I will be making another video soon because I'm almost done with the Mary Monroe series. what is it, Lonely Hearts, Deadly Hearts, or Deadly Hearts, Lonely Hearts, something like that. I'm almost done with that. So I want to give a whole video and thoughts and book talk about that whole series. I'm almost done the last book, listening to the audio of the last book, but then there's a prequel on Kindle Unlimited, that I also want to read too, so that I can include all that into one video. What else? Something else I was reading or wanted to say. I guess that's it. After I finish that series by Mary Monroe, I'll be back into the Epic Book 3, and I will give a video on that one. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Oh, I've been talking for over 15 minutes already. Oh my goodness, time flies. But everybody have a good weekend, and see you later. See you next time.